Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today, sorry my cat is like right here. Okay, so today I wanted to make a video talking about the biggest fear of an anorexic person, or just during anorexia, like the biggest fear I had and most people have, and there's actually two of them. And the number one is definitely weight gain, because that's usually when the reason you start the whole anorexia thing is because you want to lose weight or not gain weight, and the whole thing starts through that kind of mindset of being afraid. You start counting calories, then once you lose the weight, you're kind of like, oh, now I'm afraid, what if I gain the weight, and you just continue restricting or restrict too much or things like that. So that's like one of them. And then the second one is anorexics are afraid of losing control of food. So like, for example, going to a party, being in a kind of circumstance where you're kind of forced to eat, whether it's like in a religious thing or just a family tradition thing or like your birthday kind of thing, in that kind of, just being in that scenario of losing control and not being able to control your food. So that's kind of one of the fears of two of the fears, and I think those were the biggest ones for me. Like, yes, there's like a whole tons of other things, afraid of getting calories through the skin, but that all connects to being afraid of gaining weight and being afraid of losing control of food. I would like to give some advice for that. For the one is weight gain, and let me tell you that if you even mess up, if you binge, if you lose control, if you gain weight, it is not the end of the world, okay? I want to make that clear, because when I was even recovering, I was afraid of it, and I was like, what if I gain weight? And I wanted to hear people say that it's not scary to gain weight, because it's not. It's just weight. I mean, it is scary for those who are clinically obese and are their life depends on their weight. They will either die or live if they gain more weight. People that are they make literally documentaries about them that they can't even move or walk. That is dangerous, and I understand if you're in that state and you're afraid to gain weight. But if you're not in that state, you should not be afraid to gain weight. You can always fix it. I mean, yes, it might take some time. You might need to change it up a bit. You might try this, you might try this. You might try adding exercise or eating healthier. And you can fix it. It's not the end of the world, okay? You don't have to restrict to lose weight. You can eat foods that will fill you up, that will make you happy, but will be for example, less amount of calories, like fruits, vegetables, potatoes, right, lentils, beans, things like that will make you feel satisfied, but you won't eat as many calories, and you will actually eat enough calories and an amount that will actually make you happy. So, there's tons of ways to fix it and to be able to find a lifestyle, because restricting is not a lifestyle. It's just a quick fix. You need to quickly go to a wedding, you do some calorie counting, and then you're skinny. I think it was more meant for that kind of stuff, because for life it's very hard to calculate your life's amount of calorie every day, because you don't know how much you need. And I made tons of other videos talking about that as well, so you could check those out. They talk a little bit more about it, but anyways, so don't be afraid of weight gain, for the people who are, with anorexia and stuff like that. But, and then the second one, which I was talking about, was a fear of losing control. Don't be afraid to lose control. There are so many scenarios I made, thinking about, oh, my birthday, I'll have to invite a bunch of people, I'll have to make cake, I'll have to eat the cake. I always, thought, 1 year ahead, 2 years ahead, months ahead, weeks ahead, even days ahead. Don't do that. Live in the moment, because oftentimes you're not even in that scenario, and you could always, for example, maybe by that time you're already, thinking, you have, a different mindset, or, for example, there was times when I would be oh, I don't eat dairy, for example, and, my birthday's coming up and I'll have to eat dairy, but, it ended up, I just told, I don't eat dairy, and I didn't have to eat dairy or like a cake. Like, this is like now, not like restricting anorexia, but like, I'm just saying, and as an example, don't be afraid, like, oh, there'll be a party, so I need to restrict now. Like, you might not even want anything at the party. Don't restrict. You don't have to like restrict and force yourself not to eat because you think you're gonna eat or binge out at a party. Like, I did that so many times, and I noticed that, like, why am I doing that? Like, just eat now, and if you'll be hungry, eat at the party, or whatever it is, any occasion. I don't know what occasion you'll be in, but, like, often I just made it so much worse than it was, and no one will ever make you eat anything. No one will ever force you. Yes, you could get peer pressured into it, I guess, but, like, even if you are dedicated to whatever, like, like, don't be afraid of it. Because often, like, people anorexia, like, they fall into anorexia even more because they're on a diet, and they're like, well, I'm gonna have to break my diet on Friday with my friends, so I need to restrict this whole week just so I could binge out at the party. Like, actually, no, you don't have to. Just eat normally, and if you'll be hungry, eat at the party. Try to pick something healthy. I always advise to pick something healthy over just calories and just not eating or whatever. Like, try to be the healthiest option and things like that. So don't, don't be afraid of losing control, because there's no such thing as losing control over food. There's, like, just food and just eat right now, eat in the moment. Don't, like, think about, like, oh, I want a huge dinner, so I'm going to restrict the whole day. No, if you just eat normally throughout the day, you might not even end up wanting dinner, or, like, your dinner might be normal, or, like, small, or, like, just don't, like, save up your calories. Don't be all, like, fear of controlling, like, losing control. Don't try to control. Just live the way it is, and just live every moment. Like, live right now. Don't live in a couple of hours. Don't live tomorrow. Don't live for next year. Live right now and just enjoy your time right now. And that's one of my best advice. Not best, I mean, I'm not going to, say I'm the best advice or whatever. But that's one of my advices to you. And I don't know, I feel like that might help, because a lot of you are going through anorexia, and a lot of you want an answer, and a lot of you want to relate. And, people that are anorexic, even I was afraid of these kind of things. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time. Bye!